Awesome. Where do I want this? Okay, this is what I want. Full screen mode. Yes. Okay, we're good to go. Good morning again, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. And today, this is a topic that I've just recently started to enjoy talking about, just because I have seen that there are soft or hidden things that people don't realize in terms of career growth, development, getting the jobs that they desire. And I'm just going to share a few of this. So starting off, because I really want this to be very interactive, I would like us to please share some of our career wins in 2021. If I'm going to start, I can't really say I can share career wins because from January to July, I was a full-time student. And then I took a sabbatical until September. And since then, I've been doing advisory. So if I'm going to say a career win that I've had is just clarity on what I want to be earning, the kind of organization that I want to work with. So that would be a win, but I haven't been in 9 to 5, like that. So anybody wants to share career wins, you can put it in the chat. So you got promoted, did you secure the bag big time? I remember after we did our Secure the Bag series, the stories that we got, we had stories from people that were like, why didn't you do this before I negotiated for this new role? And then there were people who were able to use it to get better pay, some twice what they were thinking of, which was very fantastic for us. Some people are now working in their dream company, which is very good. And then some people, they've been executing projects. So let me see, I should join another device. So anybody wants to share a career win for the year? And it doesn't have to be anything so grand. You put yourself forward for a project, you got a new job that you didn't think you would get. Let me see. Nobody has a career win. That's not good. I don't believe it. Okay, thank you for sharing, Chibuka. And I find when you take breaks, it gives you better perspective as well. So working freelance and remotely. Okay, thank you for sharing. Anybody else? Let's, and I'm asking this because I want us to be able to reflect. We're going to talk about wins. We're going to talk about challenges so that we can speak practically to where you are and where you want to go. So does anybody else want to share a win, something that you've achieved this year? Okay, Muiwa, you have your hand up. Yeah, Muiwa, you can go. You should be able to speak. Hi, Muiwa. Okay, okay, I can hear you.
Adedoyin.
Good morning, a long time.
Walk.
I know.
Okay, thank you for this session. A good one. If I might just share, at time you might just get to place in your career that might just begin to even doubt whether you're doing well based on many things happening, But I think one of the things that I've found this year, when we had a lot of changes in management, new people came in. I think one of the things that they found very interesting, new people that came, that we have the communication team who is supporting the business, getting results, many meetings and various projects. Every assessment that comes in for our communication team has always been very, very, very positive. For somebody like me that sits on top of this, gives me a lot of joy that finally recognition, honor, and how do I put it? That validation is coming our way. So I find it very, very interesting that uh, this year is coming year that we've been waiting for. So that's just my thought. Thank
Thank you, Muiwa, and really congratulations. I think I saw it on, I can't remember which of the awards. I know your company got an award as well. And yes, you're right, like that validation, because sometimes you may feel like, oh, I'm not the kind of person that likes validation, but when it comes, you're like, finally, somebody appreciates or sees the value that I bring. And when it comes over the years, because we don't do the work for the validation, but the validation is nice. So thank you for sharing that. Oluwaseun Yemisi says she resigned from a job and put her health first. Very important. I learned this hard lesson in 2016, and I started a business about 2 months ago after a break. Well done. Okay, Caleb, I'll take Caleb next and I'll move on.
Hi, everyone. So very quickly, I got a role in October, a communications role in October for a law firm. And I remember sharing with you, I've had these communications for law firms since January. And at some point, it seemed like it wasn't happening. And I was like, I'm just getting on. And this came out of, and yeah, I'm here now, and I'm learning as much as I can. So
thank you, Caleb. And because I know the story, I know that there's a lot you didn't share, because there was a time we thought that this won't come through, and then things just turned around, because you believed and went the extra mile. So I'm really, I was so excited when you said you got the job, really, really excited. Okay, let me move forward. Okay, so looking back at the year, what do you wish you had done differently in your career? Again, I'd have loved to give personal examples, but we all know that I was majorly in school. But if you think about the things that you did, so for some people, because I've had many one-on-one conversations, is just being confident about your ideas. Because a lot of times we have great ideas, but because we don't communicate those ideas confidently, it seems like, oh, these ideas are not worthwhile. For some people, it might even be their approach to failures. I think that was one of the biggest lessons that I had to learn, that me failing or not meeting my own personal mark, because I set really high targets for myself, is not the end of the world. And that was something I had to learn. So if you reflect on your career, and I'm taking us through this because if you don't reflect, think about what's working and what's not working, you can't move forward. You will just be applying for roles and not understand, or even just settle for any kind of role because you're not introspecting. And this is a very, very good season. This is December. Soon now people will be doing New Year's resolution. This is a very, very important season to introspect. So does anybody want to share? You can type it in the chat section. What do you wish you could have done differently? I remember having a conversation with someone, and she said there was an opportunity that she didn't believe she was qualified for, but that when she finally saw the person that was picked, she knew more. And it's not a thing of pride. She just knew more than that person. But this person was picked, and it could have easily been her had she just, believed in herself and believed in the value that she could bring to the table. So that was something. And I always say this thing about confidence, if I've ever had a one-on-one session with you. So anybody wants to share that before we move on? What do you wish you could have done differently? Position yourself better, spoken up more, asked for more salary. A lot of people, I believe that people could have asked for more money. Learned to say no, yes, to certain opportunities, yes. I think that's, especially when you're doing freelancing and consulting, it's important to be able to say no to certain things. And I know that sometimes where you want the money, you not even just want, you need the money, there are bills to be paid, but then what's the opportunity cost? And for those of us in the full-time 9 to 5, it's also saying no to certain things. Your boss says, do it this way. Is there a better way for it to be done? Can you, speak out and advise your boss or your organization on the best way for something to be done? So that's an important one. Okay, because of time, maybe by the end, I want us to do Q&A, but let me move to the next one. So when you saw the red flag, Irene, that's an important one, and I will talk about this going on. And it really starts from the foundation of what I'm going to share today is, and as I'm asking these questions, if you can have a notepad where you can write your answers, it will be very useful. But the thing is, what do you want? Have you thought about it? I love quotes, and I will share this quote by Napoleon Hill. And it says, there is one quality that one must possess to win, and that is definiteness of purpose, the knowledge of what one wants and a burning desire to possess it. If you don't know what you want, you are going to just settle for anything. Sometimes when we advertise for roles in the community, I see the same person applying for roles, if it's social media, communications, this and this. Sometimes I want to say, well, what exactly do you want? Because you can't want everything. But if you don't know what you want, anything that comes, you're like, this job, this shall comes job, let me shall be doing it. And that's not very, very beneficial for your career. So you need to think about what you want and where you want to be. And that involves, what is the role that you want? I want to be a communications manager at an FMCG, a multinational, a startup, a tech company. What kind of organization? What income level? What culture? I don't know who it was that said something about health. Culture is so important. I speak to a lot of people and like, this place that you're working, it's so toxic. Why are you there for this long? I've worked in toxic places, but I've said to people, when you work in a toxic environment that you're going to probably stretch yourself, there's a time frame for doing that. It's not a place to perpetually dwell in. It's not good for not just your health, but even your career projection. And then what is important to you? So for me, even way before COVID started, flexible working had always been important to me. In fact, all of the 9 to 5s that I had some sort of flexible work. So there was my first job, I was an intern. And if you read my book, you know a lot of this story. When I became a full-time staff, maybe after 2 months, I asked to start resuming by 12, because at the time, I'm very nocturnal, even today. And I will wake up very early, get to the office by 8 o'clock, leave the office very late. I wasn't being productive. And I'm not somebody I don't want to say I don't work well in office settings, but if you distract me a lot, I won't be able to think. And because we're doing creative work, I don't have that mind space to be able to do what I want to do. So I need time off from people. And typically the way organizations are, some are trying to change that. You're all seated in this big open room place. People are talking, they are gisting, they are bantering, time is going. It wasn't effective for me. So I negotiated with HR. I want to be resuming by 12. I don't mind if my closing time is 7 o'clock, but I want to resume by 12. And I was granted. My next role, I told them, I can only come to the office 3 times a week. Is it fine? Is it not fine? For me, it has always been important to me. The third role after that, I think I was going 4 times a week. My Fridays was for me. The next one, even NESG, where I was interning, I still requested for days. So I think I used to go 3 times a week. In fact, I wanted to push it and say, can I be closing by 4? Because I was thinking of 3rd mainland bridge traffic, but I wasn't granted that. But that's important to me and will still be important to me. So there are some roles that will not allow me that kind of opportunity. And those roles are not for me. And it's okay. But I'm very, very clear on what is important to me. So I'm asking you, everybody on this call, we're 16 of us, what is important to you? What is the culture, the income level? What is the organization? Where? And what is the role? A great career doesn't happen by chance. I have seen that over the years. When I was preparing for this webinar, I was like, God, I know that a huge part of my story is your grace that has enabled me to do it. But within your grace are embedded principles. And I want to be able to share principles that people can go with. And I think that this year, because I have done a lot of career coaching, I've been able to bring out those principles. And this is one of the first things, is being clear on what you want. And as we go along, we'll see why this is very, very important. Please, if you have questions, just put them in the chat and I will take them. So where are you now? When you now think about where you want to go, so I'm going to give myself as an example. Most of you, or for the people that are part of the community, you know that, I'm pivoting towards policy communications. I want to work in that space. And looking at, so if I do the former slide is, what do I want? I want to work with an international organization in terms of policy advocacy, so that I get my hands deep into that work and begin to build myself. But where am I now? I've just finished a master's program in communications, which I needed to do because for where I want to go to, it was going to be important for me to have that master's degree. Now, for me to work fully in this space, I don't have so much of public policy knowledge. It was one of the reasons why I went to intern at the NESG at the beginning of last year. So where am I right now? I have to do an honest skill audit for where I want to go. What skills do I already have? What have I mastered? I've mastered communication strategy. I've mastered writing. I've mastered execution. I've mastered, for you, list it, press relations, etc., etc. What have you mastered? And please do not allow imposter syndrome make you say, oh, this thing is not. If you know how to create great content, you know how to create great content. There's no two ways about it. But do an honest audit. What are the things that you are yet to master? For me, it has always been dealing with the media relations. Any brief, in fact, I just literally did a brief that had media relations. I was like, oh my God, here we go again. I know it's a core part of what we do, but I don't particularly enjoy it just because of the way we do media relations in this part of the world. So it's not my strong point. I would rather outsource it. So you need to be honest with yourself. What haven't you mastered? Is it your writing skills? Can your writing be better? Is it that, you haven't maybe mastered events? Because some of us, working in comms, you do events. I'm not fantastic with events. In fact, we're planning our end of year events that we have an events team. Yesterday, the venue called me. I started asking me, Ma, is there a special this thing? I said, please, this is not my jurisdiction. Anything events, I'm going to forward her number. I don't know what color, decoration, and something. That's not me. It's not my life. But if a brief requires me to do that, because I know it is not such a strong suit, I have to then find, okay, how do I make up for this? Then what are the transferable skills that you have picked up? This is especially for people that are pivoting into communications, or you're about to go into a role that is much bigger or higher than where you are now. What are the transferable skills? Because these are questions that come up during interviews, but you can't answer them because you haven't thought about your transferable skills. So for me, for example, I applied for a fellowship last year. It was in policy, and the question that I kept hearing, but you don't have public sector experience. Why are you the best fit for the role? And I said to them, yes, I don't have public sector experience. However, these are the skills that I have that I believe will be valuable, whether this is public sector or it is private sector or development sector. I was able to articulate that, and I got to the very end of the process. So if you don't know your transferable skills, you're not going to be able to answer certain interview questions. And what are these transferable skills? For me, my writing skills, whether it's public sector, whether it's private sector, great writing skills, being able to take hard concepts and filter them into simple ways that people can understand. It's very important. Stakeholder management is something that I have mastered. Would always be a transferable skill because wherever you're working, there would always be stakeholders, relationship building. So these are just some of the examples of transferable skills. So you don't box yourself into, I'm a PR person and I want to move to being the head of corporate communications. And somebody saying, but you only have PR experience. Do you have transferable skills that will allow you to function in that role while you also learn on the job? This is why you need to think about your transferable skills. And then the final part is, are you prepared for the future of communications? I've joined many webinars. They're talking about AI, virtual reality. Now we're talking about NFT. I said that during my retreat at the end of this year, I'm going to go and sit down to understand this metaverse, Globoverse, all of it, because my mind honestly cannot deal. But we need to be thinking about the future of communications. We need to think about data, data analytics. I'm not saying you should go and get a certification in it, but you must be ready because these things have an impact on the work that we're doing now. I see you can't hear me anymore. Is that for everybody or just Chisim? I hope I'm still audible. Can you let me know if you can hear me? If not, okay, it's fine. All right, okay, thank you. Yeah, Chibuka is very important. I mean, if it's important to you, distance, yeah. I mean, I always say you want to be in a place where you will thrive, and nobody can make you feel like you're asking for too much or you're being a diva. It's what you want, and that's it. I always say be clear on it, and the roles that fit into what you want will actually find you. I really do believe that. Okay, so we've talked about what do you want? Where are you now? And I'm going to spend the bulk of this time talking about how will you get there, because that's what strategy is about. I want to become XYZ. This is where I am now. How am I going to get there? Again, another quote says, opportunities don't happen, you create them. I really, honestly, looking at the last 2 years, I really do believe in this quote that you do create opportunities. And one thing I say a lot to people that talk to me about wanting a job, they're applying, they're frustrated. And I say to them that one part of applying for a job is finding job opportunities, sending your CV, waiting to be recruited. That's our traditional, method. However, we're living in a time and a dispensation where anything can happen. The kind of job offers I've been having in the last few months is by choice that I'm not doing a 9 to 5, not because there's lack of opportunity. It's not what I want now. But these are not, how would I put it? I would say that if I want a job now, I wouldn't need to apply because I have created a network and I have also demonstrated value. And so I've also been able to understand how to take advantage of opportunities, even when it doesn't look like an opportunity. And that's what I want to talk about today. So there are 3 pillars, or I've broken it into 3 pillars, mapping out your strategy. And the first one is being visible in the right networks and to the right people. You may have heard me say that the jobs don't always go to the most qualified, but those who are actually visible, those who are actually able to communicate, those who are actually able to position themselves. And the right network is very, very, very important. I'll give you an example of this right networks to the right people. For a very long time, maybe since last year, since starting the Comms Avenue, this thing about changing the narratives in Africa has been so, on my heart. I didn't even know what I was going to do with it, but I kept saying it in interviews and everything, everywhere that I go. And then I attended one webinar. I cannot remember the name of the webinar. I stumbled on it on LinkedIn, and it was something about communicating in and about Africa or something like that. And I just went to go and join. And because when I just saw African narrative, I just joined. Now, this webinar had top comms people from across Africa, and they were all talking about, different things. And so I was leaving comments, yes, this, that, just sharing my own thoughts, because this is something that's been on my heart. I have a lot of thoughts and ideas. Now, while that webinar was going on, I received an invitation for a private workshop on communicating about Africa, which was facilitated by the OECD. I was like, wow, this is fantastic. So I registered. Now, in the middle of all of this, I had been thinking to myself, if we want to shift this narrative, we want to push out more positive narrative, be in control. I mean, look at, for example, this thing about the new variant. I don't know how to pronounce it. That, see the way that South Africa has been posted in such a bad light. That's an example. I'm starting to think about what is the role of the African Union in facilitating all of this. I don't know anybody in Africa, this is me here in Nigeria, Lagos at the moment. However, Omicron. Thank you, Chibuka. But I just started thinking about it. So when I went for this private workshop, guess who was in this workshop? Head of Communications of African Union. I'm like, what a wahoo. And, I started, chatting, connecting, sharing in the breakout rooms. And then what started to happen was that people were adding me on LinkedIn, connecting with me on LinkedIn. And then post-webinar, I then spoke to one of the organizers and I said, because the lady who is the head of comms at African Union asked a very important question. And I said to her that I think that one of the things is that we don't even know what they do in the African Union. We're not even sure. This Agenda 20, I think is Agenda 2063. What is inside this document? How will these documents impact on our work as comms professionals? What is their plan for positioning Africa? We don't know. And if we don't know, we can't do anything. And so we started to talk about, okay, what can we do next year? And so some things are in the works regarding that. But I'm just telling you this story to emphasize the importance of being in the right network and in the right people. Now I am now being channeled to that place of, shifting the narrative because I attended a few webinars. I was, vocal about my ideas. I contribute. If you ever see me in a webinar that I'm actually paying attention because there's a webinars that, you are cooking, you're doing all things that I'm really interested in. I'm leaving comments, I'm talking, I'm engaging because that is the network. That is where I want to be. So that is an example. Are you visible in the right network? So somebody is saying to me, I want to be the strategic digital lead at so agency. Are you going for webinars, events, connecting with people that are already in this space? Are they on your LinkedIn? Are you connected with them on IG? Are you interacting with them? Do you have, so go through your LinkedIn. Don't just connect with people. This person is the global kiniko of something in America. How is this person useful for your life and your destiny? I'm not saying you should only connect with people that you want to get something from, but I'm saying that you need to create the right networks that open up the right opportunities to you. And there's a deliberateness that comes with that. So for me now, I'm connecting more with a lot of people that are in the policy space, especially people that have mixed policy and communications together. So going on to, let me keep an eye on time. But the second pillar that I believe is also very important is to position yourself and brand yourself for the opportunities that you want. This one I can spend the whole day talking about because this is where people have the challenge. Oh, I don't want to be out there. Oh, I don't have anything to share. Oh, I've heard so many things. But the truth is that people articulate or people associate you with something, whether intentionally or unintentionally. A few years ago, I started a platform called Sparkle Writers Hub. And for 1 year on my page, I kept doing writing. I mean, if you followed me on Facebook that year, you're like, what's wrong with this girl? Well, you know what started to happen? In my church, if anybody needed a writer or somebody to do anything, writing, editing, I was the first person that they would say, go and meet her. She's the one that is always talking about writing. What are you associated with? If I say Caleb, if somebody comes and says Caleb, what are they going to associate Caleb with? And how do we build these associations? Our social media, we are all comms people. We know how we do this for our brands. Why are we not doing it for ourselves? If I ask you, when the name Adedoyin Jaiyesimi comes to mind, I can be sure of the kind of keywords that you will say because I have been deliberate about my messaging, about my content, about the things that I share. What about you? Can I say the same thing about you? And the power is in your hands. We have the tools. It is up to us to be strategic about using it. So you say, for example, you want to work in the tech space. Are you positioning yourself for that? Are you writing thought pieces about comms in technology? And this is not about being an expert. So if you've seen some of my recent posts, I do musings. I say, oh, I've noticed this. How about if, XYZ, what would be, I'm trying to remember one of my last posts. Oh yeah, it was from the Abuja Hangout. And somebody had made a comment about, when people say, is it not just to? And then I wrote it there. It was supposed to be, that post was 2 ways. It's sensitization and also to get comms people to know that you also have a role in educating people on what you do. And there were a lot of comments. There are times, I think the one that I did on policy communications, I had seen something in the UK Government Communication Service website, and I wrote a musing about it. And there were a lot of conversations, and some people reach out via DM. But the point is, are you positioned and branded for the opportunities that you want? What kind of content are you posting? Your LinkedIn page, the keywords, if I search for those keywords, will your profile come up? I have gone to strategically put public policy in my profile so that if you are looking for public policy, anything, my profile will come up. And LinkedIn shows you how people are searching for you. In fact, there was one that I was laughing. Somebody was searching for food distributor or food server. I'm like, why is my name coming up for food server? And I realized, oh, it's because of Project ARC, the COVID-19 intervention program that we did last year. And I put it on my profile that we served food packs. I'm like, I'm not a food server, but the keywords, are they there in your profile? So that when people are searching, when recruiters are searching, they will find you. And then the third part is be creative about showcasing what you do. I can't talk about this. I can say so much about this. What do you do well? And this is not about bragging, because the comments that I've heard is, oh, I don't want to seem I'm proud. No, it's how you put it. I'm not a fan of, I'm pleased to announce, I'm proud to say, I'm da, da, da. I like to tell a story. I like to give the backstory. I like to say how this thing came about. I like to, when you're reading, even if I'm going to make an announcement, I like to share a perspective. So for example, sharing my graduation wins, for example, I told the story that, look, all of these things happened. It wasn't just me, the grace of God and people that helped me and supported me. And then I shared the win. So that's for me personally. But some people, like the I'm pleased to, I'm fine, I'm happy to announce, if that's you, that's okay. But be creative about showcasing what you do. It is going to be very, 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 very important, because you see, you may be discouraged and you say, oh, I post, only 5 people like. Let me tell you something. The people that are watching, they are not necessarily liking, but they are seeing. And I can tell you this categorically, people are watching and they are seeing. So let's move on to the next. So I've broken it, those 3 things that I've shared, I've broken it into 3 things: your positioning, your pitch, and your package. And this is across any level. In fact, the higher you go, the more important these things become. Your positioning, LinkedIn. If I come on your LinkedIn page, am I clear that this person is an expert at what she does? And you are the one that you need to first believe that you are an expert. Some of you here have 4 years experience, 5 years experience, 10 years experience, but it's not showing or reflecting in your LinkedIn page. We need to correct that. How are you positioned in your industry? One thing that I did when I came back to Nigeria was to make sure that I was attending industry events. If you know me personally, I'm not a fan of going out for too many events. In fact, people that have been inviting me for Christmas, whatever, I told them that I've maxed out of my bandwidth for Christmas events for 2021, because they're just literally like almost every week I'll be going out, and that's not me. It stresses me out. But I've been very strategic about going for industry events, connecting with industry people, being friends with them. I went to WIMCA, Women in Marketing and Communications conference, and there was one of the senior executives in the companies that I follow on LinkedIn. So she was at this conference, and I didn't know that she was there. So she posted about it. I was like, oh, it would have been so good to meet you. And then she said something like, we should intentionally plan it, or something like that. Immediately, I didn't waste time. I went to her DM. I was like, oh, let's plan it. When are you free? She told me her free time, and we met, and we had a very, very good lunch. I didn't ask her for anything. We're just connecting. So this positioning is about connection, because these connections are what is important to you. Remember, pillar 1 was to be visible in the right networks and to the right people. How are you building and nurturing connections? It is so important that sometimes on LinkedIn, in this journey of transitioning to public policy, I have reached out to people to say, this is what I want to do. Can I have 10 minutes of your time or 15 minutes of your time to talk about, what my plans are? And I've had conversations with senior leaders in the UK, in Nigeria. Let me even tell you another story. You guys know I can tell you stories for this. I was invited to moderate a panel conversation on sustainability. How did I get this opportunity? A former client, when I was running Content Craft, one of our clients, we were managing comms, but she had asked me to also moderate. And that was something that happened during my time of running Content Craft. I will be moderator. Tomorrow I will be host. This, just trying to do whatever to make the client happy. So this person was at that conference and we had exchanged numbers. And he said, oh, that he really liked the way I moderated. I mean, anything I do, which is why I always say, make sure you show up fully. Anything that I do it excellently well. I remember there was a banking and finance panel that I moderated that they thought I was an expert in the industry just because I had read, I had done everything. So I think last year, COVID, he couldn't have the events. And this year, he lost my number or something like that. And then he reached out to the other former client to get my number because he was insistent that I must be the person to not just moderate, to be the host. And me, that I'm even looking for extra source of income. I say, thank you, Father God. Here's an extra source of income. But that's really not the full story. So I prepare, sustainability, do my preparations, hosting. I was co-hosting with somebody else. And then we got on the panel. We started talking. I started asking their questions. That was how one speaker mistakenly said something about storytelling and narrative. Guys, it wasn't intentional. I just don't know when I started talking about comms, the importance of comms, the importance of working with comms people, talk, like, and then all the speakers started talking about it. For example, the man on the street doesn't understand what recycling is. They decided to we just had the conversation shifted. Now, the keynote speaker is somebody that's highly respected and she's done a lot of policy work and all of that. And as she was presenting the award to me, she was like, oh, communicator par excellence, this and this. Honestly, the minute she said that, I was like, whoa, what just happened here? Because I was just supposed to go and moderate. And then somebody else came and said, wow, that well done. It's so clear and obvious that you're a communications professional and you're passionate about what you do. And then as I sat and I was reflecting, I was like, this keynote speaker, she has policy experience. Perhaps she can give me some ideas or pointers, because I'm still trying to figure out my transition. So I went to her and I said, Ma, thank you for the session. I'm really, really looking to use my skills in communications to impact the public sector in terms of policy, but I'm not really sure how to go about selling things. So she's like, oh, why not? And she gave me her number and we're going to have a discussion about it. And then to add to that, 2 days ago, the guy, the event host, said that the president of the Association of Nigeria, we have a lot of associations, wants me to come and moderate a virtual panel for them. I'm not free on the day, but I'm just trying to show you the ripple effect of positioning. And this was even something that I was not even deliberate about. I believe in sustainability, but that's not my core area of focus. So within your industry, how are you being positioned? Now, your current organization. Now, some of you may say, oh, my organization, they're very toxic, that this, I don't like my boss. But you see, colleagues that you are working with, people that you are there with, you don't know how those relationships will be useful for you in the future. I'm a firm believer of, as much as you can, don't burn bridges. I know in some situations it's tough, but where you can, do not burn bridges. How are you nurturing relationships within your current organization? The people that I've worked with in all my organization, I still talk to them and reach out to them. They still call me for opportunities. One of them called me, when I was still doing my master's. I'm in a fix, please. Can I come and do a session on social media? Can you come with a company? I said, I will. The kind of assignment that is hooking my throat now, I can't do it. But do you want me to get you somebody? How are you nurturing those relationships? And you can see that the final layer here is relationships. We need to be more deliberate about building and nurturing relationships. It's not until you need the job that, I need a job, and then you start connecting. How are you nurturing relationships? The Comms Avenue, we're giving you opportunities to network with one another. So during our end of the year dinner, we always try to bring you people so that we can give you access. We're bringing some very senior comms professionals to join us. how are you going to start building and nurturing relationships with these people? And it's very, very easy. And this is something that I have not always been great at because largely I'm an introvert, right? And there's a way that sometimes nurturing relationship, you're calling good morning, man, good morning, sir. How I don't do it. I'm not very good at that. I'm not the one that would call you overly. But let me share something that I've seen has worked for me. Instagram. You know, Instagram, you can put clap emoji. You go, girl. Wow, this is so wonderful. Congratulations. Because you become top of mind in that person's space. This December is also a good time. Everybody is going to permit you to say Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. What I like to do at the end of the year is to thank the people that have contributed to my journey in that year. So this is a good time to find some relationships in the name of wishing them saying season's greetings, saying hello, how are you doing? You know, but I found that those things, and you have to do what works for you. I think that's another thing that I need to say, that in these strategies that I'm sharing, please make sure that it is authentic to you, because I've learned to do what is authentic to me. So I've learned that. So for example, one of my, I won't even call her my mentor. I should even tell you the story of this woman, so you can see how all of these things I'm saying interrelates and intertwines. So when I was running Content Craft, you know, things were going on with the family. I needed more money than Content Craft was bringing at the time. And a friend of mine said that this particular bank was hiring for a communications manager or something like that. So I said, let me go and try it. But it's not like I was really keen, but I said, well, let me just go since I need money. So I went for the interview. And then there's the panel of 5 people talking, you know, it's going well. And then somebody there asked me, so I think the question was almost like, where do you see yourself within 5 years or within the role or something? And I said, it's to become the head of the department. And then somebody on the panel says, so that means you want my role. I was like, oh, it did not occur to me that the head of the department is in this panel. I can't even remember how I weaved my way around it, but it was a no-brainer to me. Why would I want to be a communications manager here for 5 years and I'm not progressing or advancing? Now, do you know that this woman, I didn't know, she connected with me on LinkedIn. And it was maybe when she joined the Comms Avenue, I cannot even remember how I realized that it was her. And then we invited her to our anniversary dinner. And then she told the story. And she said that when I gave that answer, she was struck by the boldness and the conviction with which I said it. I mean, I just said it because, seriously, it is a no-brainer. I don't understand why I would want to be in this role for 5 years, because my thinking is that the person that is ahead of me would also be promoted or go and do greater and higher things. And as she said that since then, I didn't get the job, but she's been following my journey and my trajectory. And now she's such a strong pillar of support. So yesterday, you know, they did some fantastic campaign activation. And we posted it on my Instagram story, just congratulating her. I'm still going to send her a message of congratulations after. But those are the little ways I know how to nurture relationships. I don't do calls much. I'm also learning how to take people, ask them, oh, would you like to go for lunch? Because now people, they're used to people taking from them. So it's almost like, oh, nice, you know. This other lady that I was telling the example, when we went for lunch, I was just praying. I said, Father God, please. I looked at the menu. I said, please, let this woman not go and choose the one that I will now be, you know, soaking Gary after this lunch. Please, Father God, help my life. But the woman was she didn't even know that she was paying, to be honest. There was no discussion about who is paying or who is not paying. But, you know, we ate food within a reasonable amount. I didn't soak Gary after the lunch or the dinner. But these are just the little ways that I try to nurture relationships. So let me move on. I've spent a lot of time. Your pitch, your elevator pitch. People that have done the Comms Mentoring Program and the career coaching that I did, how do you talk about yourself in a way that they know who you are and what you stand for? If you haven't done any of the things that I started before, this will be very difficult. So going back to that story about the panel discussion that I was telling you about, it was clear without a doubt that this girl is about communications. In fact, I got an invitation by one of the panelists to come to their studio. Me, I've never heard of the studio before, you know, and he had said during the conversation that it's one of the best, world class. And you know how I just thought, you know how people used to just, you know, amplify the work that they are doing. Until I visited the studio, because I just thought, why not? It was not necessarily convenient, but I said, this guy has invited me, let me go. And I go there. Who do I see as the person managing the whole thing? Somebody that we had invited last year to speak at one of our master classes. So he already even knew me. So these are just the things, relationships, guys, you don't know, other steps, you don't know how these things work, but there is a deliberateness to it. So by the end of the year now, I'm going to wish the guy Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We're hoping that we will work together next year. But you try and nurture these relationships. Sorry, I'm going back to relationship. But the point was elevator pitch. How do you talk about yourself? And people that have done the coaching and gone through the mentoring program know that this thing is actually not very easy if you haven't thought about it, if you haven't sat down. If we had time to do the exercise, if I tell you now, tell me about yourself in 1 minute. Somebody say, oh, my name is Adedoyin. I'm from a family of 2. I like to write. I'm already doing like this. Oh, what is this person saying? How do you speak in a way that it commands attention? Because you see, opportunities that we get to meet people every single day. You meet people at the salon. You meet people in church. You meet people just off the cuff. Anywhere you're going to jam me in this life, whether it's in the air or on the land, you are going to be very, very, very clear of what I am and where I'm going, because you just don't know who you're meeting and who you're speaking to. So it feeds on to the next point about shooting your shot. When you have your elevator pitch, it's now easy to shoot your shot at the right people. I'm in this strategy group that has to do with an area that is not really my area of expertise. But because I'm a comms person, I could ask questions from a comms perspective, and there was some sort of media with the work. So the session was facilitated by, by somebody from the US, and he was just talking. So I asked questions just based on my experience. The guy kept saying, wow, fantastic questions, Adedoyin, fantastic questions. That's how the guy just said, guys, so, whenever you want us to meet, I will just, bring my plane down and, we can have a meeting. I said, bring your plane down. When it's not like he's in car. When somebody says I will just drive down, he is talking of private jets, like he's talking about, a moving vehicle that he would just jump on. And we're talking about America to Nigeria. And the way he said it, and it's not, see, I said that God must elevate my life. The way he spoke about it, there was no iota of pride. It was as a matter of fact. So in my mind, I was like, who is this man? I must know you. And where will I go and check out this man? On LinkedIn. I think I first Googled him. I checked on LinkedIn and I saw that. I think one thing he had even said in that session was, maybe he went to an organization, he realized that they were not willing to do something, and he just said, and so I bought the company. I said, is that how they used to just buy a company? So by the time he said the second thing about flying there's something, I must know this man. So by the time I checked the man out, he's a private equity investor. Now, I don't have anything to do in private equity or anything, but you see, I want people like that in my network, because association is very important. When you're around people that speak like that, your mind, it expands. Personal experience. So the next thing that I did, I sent him a connection request on LinkedIn. Now, I didn't just send it. I don't just send empty connection request. I always put a note. I said, dear XX, it was great engaging with you on so meeting. Thank you very much for taking the time out to answer my questions. I'm sending you a request here so that we can stay connected. Full stop. And then he added me and responded, oh, Adedoyin, thank you so much. Thank you for the questions. Thank you, Full stop. He's there. We have not spoken since then, but now he's in my network. And we're still going to be working together in this project. So I'm giving you these stories and these examples to just see connections. Think about where you're going. What do you want? Where do you want? Like me, I want to be around the rich people, the people that, private jet is like, it's not a big deal. Not because I want to fly on his jet, but it's that thinking, that mindset that helps me to believe the impossible, that gives me audacity. Those things rub off on me. I have mentors that when they speak, they will tell me, I told one of my mentors, but from next year, we're going to be doing training programs. And I told her how much she wanted to charge. She's like, are you joking? What is this money for? Is it to buy you shoe and bag? And in my mind, this money is big money. And she's like, no. This is not. Thank God, these are the kind of people I need in my life. Still going back to relationships and network. And the final part is the interview. How do you do interviews? I have always said this and I've always believed it. An interview is a time for conversation. There's a way that we see interviews as, hey, and I know interviews are a big deal, don't get me wrong. But interviews are also an opportunity for you to assess, is this the kind of place I want to work with? Which is why you need to be strategic and deliberate. This organization is not doing you a favor by hiring you. I don't care if you've not had a job in 1 year and it is a welcome development. That's fantastic. But the truth is that you're going to bring in work. You're going to do things that will add value to this organization. You're going to do things that is going, especially if you're a person of value. So you must go in there with that confidence that I have value to add and see this interview as a point of conversation. The fellowship story that I was telling you about, they were grilling us, asking hard questions. When they now finished, I said, excuse me, please, can I also ask a question? It was like, everybody that interviewed me, I asked them a question. So, and I asked them, the people that you have been sponsoring over the years, what are they doing? We don't know their story. We don't know the impact. Why don't we know? And I asked them, what's the worst? They'll say, this girl, your own is too much. We will not give you the thing. It's okay. But I've asked my own questions that are important to me. Do you do that in your interviews? Have you researched the organ? Have you spoken to people that are working or people that know the organization? And ask them, not that you now go there and say, because somebody has done it before. Why is it that you people are always hiring? You're always hiring. Is it that there is tax to these things? That when I heard that thing, I just said, hey, God, people will not disgrace you. Is to ask questions tactfully and understand. So for that example, that question, it's not that it's not an important question, because for me, if an organization is hiring and hiring and hiring for this new role, it signifies to me that there is a problem. If I personally wanted to ask that question, I would say, I've noticed that this role has been advertised, 3 times over the last 18 months. What in your experience and in reality, what would you say is the reason for this turnaround, or this quick or rapid turnaround within this role? And let them say, can you see that this is more professional than saying, why is it that you people are always hiring in this organization? Tact, we're communications people. How you word the things matter. Speaking of interviews, I remember one of the coaching sessions, I think we had, because in the coaching session, there are one-on-ones, we did real interview simulations. And there, sometimes, so there are a lot of red flags that we have in our career journey, sometimes intentional, sometimes not intentional. And so the example is, you've been fired from your job, whether it was justified or is not justified. Now you want to move forward. And this thing is holding you back. How do you communicate? How do you spin the narrative during the interview so that you get a chance? It is important to be able to learn how to do that. And so we went through the session of refining the story around that particular event. And I believe that she found it very, very useful. So if, for example, I checked somebody's CV a few days ago, this person, she has not stayed in a role 3 months. I mean, I don't know her personally, but I was going to ask, excuse me, why is it that your last 5 roles, you've only been there 3 months? Because I can't send this CV to anybody, because you appear to be somebody that stays only for 3 months. Now, if I engage this lady, there may be a backstory to why these 3 months. It then means that she needs to change the narrative. Now, I'm not saying that she should lie, but you need to package. We all know, you've seen that thing about somebody is a WhatsApp administrator, and then when they write it on LinkedIn. But there's a way you can tell the story to show that, look, you're somebody that you are thirsty and hungry for knowledge, and maybe you have just not found the right place. But you must be able to know what it is that you want to communicate and how you are presenting it. For somebody, for example, another CV I saw, the last 3, they are put, and I believe this person is just starting work. And I believe these are volunteering roles. So you see January something to present, the next role, March to present. So the question for me is, are you going to have time to do this work when you have to present on all of these things? So how do you then communicate it? Your interview, even if you do not get the job, your interview, and I told you the story of the interview experience that I had and how we're still friends today. And I have too many stories to tell because of time. Your interview is another opportunity to pitch yourself and your expertise. And that's why you must go there prepared. You must go there confident. You must go there with what you want to articulate and take out. And the final part is your CV, your portfolio, your profile. I won't share so much on this, I'm going to share two links. One of these links is to a presentation we had done, I think it was early this year, that spells out the CV, portfolio, and profile. And the second one is your portfolio. It is a template. Please, everybody, have a portfolio. And I'll tell you why it's important. Your CV, because you're a comms person, right? There's only so much you can write on a CV. But if I have a portfolio that shows me your range and the kind of the breadth of what you have done, I have a deeper sense of your professional ability. I have a deeper sense of what you can do. And a lot of people don't ask for portfolios, but I would add it. Your profile, I will just have that ready. And the profile is more for speaking engagements or opportunities. Opportunities are just everywhere, right? But you need to have the right things to prepare you for. See, there's no platform now that wants to interview me, feature me. I know the kind of profile that I want to send to them. I know what it is that I want to showcase. You must be able to do that as well. So before I go to mistakes to avoid, I want to spend some time on this portfolio matter. So I have put an example here. This thing should let me, okay. So this is the slide that I'm going to share. You will download it. Sorry, can you see the preparing for your career move slide? Just to be sure that I'm showing the right thing. Yes, okay, all right. Okay, so I'm just going to give you, so this is the slide that you'll be able to download. So you can see here, your CV, looking at your CV, these are the things to look out, your professional profile, your portfolio. So this, how you can communicate on social media. I'm going to send the link. Please, if I forget, just remind me where you can download it. And it's on our website, even if I forget. Once you go to our website and go to resources, you'll be able to see it. But what I really want us to look at now is portfolio. This is an example of a portfolio although it's for Content Craft, and Content Craft is the business that I ran. Let me see, do I have a personal portfolio? It's almost the same thing. I was going to look for a personal portfolio to share, but I think I can use this. So let me full screen mode. Okay. Now, what is your portfolio? Your portfolio is, and I will show you the sample. Who are you, about you? So this is where you write about yourself, and that's why your profile matters. What have you done? And somebody will say to me, oh, I really haven't done much yet. It's okay, it's fine. Where are you now? And then what can you do? One thing I did when I started at Why Naija, and I realized I'll be reading people's profile, published on Kiniko. Me, I could not even, 3 lines, I could not even conjoin together. I said, no problem. Me too, I will start writing on all of these platforms. And I reached out. I reached out to 3, 4, and I became a regular guest post. And then me too, I now started writing on my profile. Maybe you only see just a few. I can't even write everything now. So that's where the deliberateness comes. Where are you now? Where do you want to go? What do I need to get there? So you have that. Then, you list out your expertise. What are you good at? So that people can have a deeper sense of you. Then who have you worked with? Different. So these were the clients that we had worked with. And this is whether you want to do a 9 to 5 or you want to be a freelancer or consultant. Even if you have worked with one organization, I will show you in the in the templates how you can, if you just worked in 1 or 2 organizations, how you can do it. But I'm just giving you this sample. So this at the time, in fact, my profile has changed from this. This is no longer my profile anymore. It has expanded from this. These are my team members then. So this is what I wanted to highlight from this brief. So we showed what we do. So when you write about yourself, do a summary of your expertise, then you will now hone in on the work that you have done. So for this particular conference, we handled communication strategy and execution. And here you can see we listed out, okay, what is this? What is it about? What did we do? And then most importantly, we spoke about the outcomes. People don't speak about outcomes. So you say, oh, I was involved in Dubai Expo 2020. What did you do? What happened? What was the result? You need to think about results. What did that achieve? So for us, for example, that hashtag was trending in 3 African countries, and it wasn't easy to achieve that, right? There were real-time updates. We increase brand awareness, and we measured this. We all know that we can measure these things. Followership by 50%, 100% engagement, da, 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 da. And so we did that. So this is Leading Ladies Africa, content development, blog, and social media management. We explained what it was about, what did we do, and what was the result. So that's what you need to think about when you're creating your portfolio. So let me open the templates so that I will show you. And this template, I will share the link. It's already on our website for you to be able to download it. And please spend this Christmas holiday working on it. Your profile, your templates, have it ready. Your professional headshots, some of you selfie that you have, please no, you don't have to spend so much money. Just let it be professional. So this is the template. You can tweak it. It's in PowerPoint. You can tweak it, your name. So experience summary for your current role, years of experience, areas of expertise. And areas of expertise is important so that people know what you're good at, right? So the example here, strategic comms, stakeholder management. And what do you do well? Please don't let imposter syndrome allow you to write only one thing. What do you do really well? What have you done over the years that you've really, really done? Please write it here. Sector experience. Some of you is education, health, media, please put it there. So this is a snapshot of your summary. Then this is where you're going to write your profile. Spend some time, write your profile in a way that, wow, please promote yourself, package yourself. As you package your organizations, please do it. And they're like, wow. So if you follow this, and I wrote this myself personally because I wanted you to see how to write your profile. So I'm a multi-skilled communications professional with extensive experience managing diverse portfolios. So this profile, this person is highlighting the fact that they have diversity and they have worked in a range of industries. This person, next paragraph 2, is now talking about their passion for what they do as a communications person and how they got into the field. Paragraph 3 is then talking about, oh, sorry, there's a typo here. Paragraph 3 is then talking about, how they've taken these passions to organizations, what they're doing for organizations, helping them to connect with target audiences. Paragraph 4 is talking about notable professional achievements, worked in the Lagos Real Estate Fair, and got international end media mentions, increased customer target by 200%. Can you see that this profile is not just yes, Irene, I'm going to share the links once we're done. This just remind me. But you can see that this profile, it's a robust profile. And then the final paragraph is the type of organization this person wants to work with. The person wants to work with an organization that wants to leverage the power of communications to stay positioned as an industry leader. Remember, again, we had talked about this at the beginning. What do you want? What's important to you? Those are the things you need to put in your profile. If you check my profile, and I've written there that I'm keen on working with governments to leverage the power of communications to build citizen trust and involve the youth and women in the creation of inclusive and innovative policies. Again, articulation, you must be able to do that. So brands you've worked with. So this is where you can show, for example, let's say these are campaigns. This is Nike, this is Coca-Cola. This is one brand we created during my entrepreneurship course in my master's. And then you then talk about the brand. What is it? What did you do? What did you achieve? Write it out like that in your portfolio. Take time out to think. And that some of you, when you do this process, because the people that have done this, they realize that they've actually done a lot of work that they have completely forgotten about, or they were involved in things that they didn't realize that they have built so much skill. That's what doing this profile actually helps you with. So please take some time and do it. And then the campaigns. So here, the media mentions that you got for your clients or your organization, put them here. If they were featured on Guardian, Forbes, screenshots of YouTube, whatever it is, put it here. I love visual things, and the visual elements, the wow factor. Imagine if this was Forbes, this, that. It speaks range. It communicates, wow, it's that perception of this person knows what he or she is doing. And then links. I always say, as a communications professional, you need to be having links. What have you written? How can I get a feel for this person as a communications expert? You don't need to have a website like me. I have a website and I was strategic about creating that website. You can create a blog, Medium, Substack, whatever it is. Again, I've always said it, we have so many tools at our disposition. You can put the article links. If you want to, if this was going to be my own, I'll have made this page a bit more visual. I don't know, I'm very visual. Then social media, campaigns that you have worked on. If they're, and this is especially good for freelancers, put some of the handles there, or you can put the screenshot and the handle, but let people see, and then finally you end with your, email, phone number, whatever it is. Why do you do all of this? So that, because the way it is now, you send something to me, somebody says, Adedoyin, I need somebody that can handle XYZ. Oh, let me send you this person's CV and portfolio. I forward it to the person. I don't necessarily have to call you, but I know that you can do the work, and I forward it to the person. Immediately, the person doesn't have to call me back to say, oh, what's Anita's number? It's already there. And then that person may forward it to somebody. You just never know. Which is why I want you to take your time and create these documents, because you don't know where it will go to. Okay, I think I want to be sure that was what I was going to share. Yes, that's everything in that part. Okay, so let's sorry, this is over an hour. I know I talk a lot, but you can tell that this is something I'm really passionate about. But I hope that this is useful so far. I'm going to take questions in a bit, but mistakes to avoid. Please don't be all over the place. I know that you want a job, you desire a role, but you cannot be applying for every role. It's not possible. You're not sliced bread. And even sliced bread, people that do fit farm don't like sliced bread. So don't be all over the place. Be strategic. And this being strategic is also being strategic about the events you attend, the webinars you go for. Some people are professional webinar and conference attenders. And why that's not a problem? My question is, okay, so what did you get out of this webinar? What did you learn? Who did you connect with? Who did you meet? When I started attending conferences in 2016, I was told that, go with your business card, meet people, give them business card. That was networking. But I realized that it didn't work for me, because I will go before this executive manager and I'm saying things, and you can tell when somebody is not interested in what you are saying, because other people are coming to say the same thing and they're shoving business cards. One particular conference, I stood aside and I was watching, and every single person literally said the same thing, gave their business card, and she just handed it to her PA. The PA now had gazillion of business cards. So I stood there and I wondered, what exactly is going to happen to those business cards? And that's the end of it. And I saw it wasn't working. In fact, there was one that I had met this woman that I totally admired, but I didn't have anything useful to say to her. But yeah, because networking now, I said, oh, good afternoon, ma. Your work really inspires me. And she looked at me. I was like, Adedoyin, this woman, you're just, she is as if you're constituting a nuisance in her presence. And I don't hold any grudges against her, because these people are human beings. So if you're taking up their time, you have to say something different. So I switched up my approach, and I said I will begin to nurture relationship and connect much more deliberately. So when I go for conferences, I don't have to connect it. I will greet them, but I don't need to be connected. If I don't need to be connected with them, I don't need to. But if there's somebody on a panel that says something, for example, case in point, what I said about the keynote speaker in the last event that I went for, and I realized this woman can give me some sort of clarity. And I went to her, and because now she already sees me as communicator par excellence, there's an open window for me to go and shoot my shot. So I take it. Now, how do I nurture relationships? About 2 days after, it was her birthday. I thought I saw it late at night on LinkedIn. Best believe I picked up my phone. Oh, ma, I just saw from LinkedIn that it's your birthday. Happy birthday. And I wrote all of the message and everything. And I nurtured that relationship. How are you nurturing this relationship? Birthdays are important to people. I've realized wishing them happy birthday, celebrating their achievements, just leaving a comment. Sometimes I will go into some people's DM. I'm like, oh my God, congratulations, ma. Sometimes some of my connections on LinkedIn, maybe I've not seen a post from them for a while. I reach out to them, oh, I'm just checking up on you. Are you good? I haven't heard. Oh, Adedoyin, thank you so much. It's so thoughtful. It's really nice of you. And guys, please be authentic about this thing. I'm not now saying that you should now go and be, if it's not real to you, don't do it. For me, when I remember or it strikes me that, oh my God, I've not seen something from Elsie. Let me check on her. And I will send a message, right? But how are you nurturing these relationships? What we do is we connect. And a lot of people do it. We connect. Oh, please, ma, I'm looking for a job, ma. Hey, please, ma, help me. I have handled social media for HNIs and senior executives. They have tons of those requests in their DMs. I don't even know how they do it. It's one of my greatest fears about being popular. They have tons of it. And I'm just like, and people are continuously and constantly asking them. But there are little ways that we can nurture relationships. So, which is why you need to first be deliberate about who you are connecting with. Now, for example, because of Comms Avenue, I'm connecting with communicators across Africa. What I did over the last few days was I reached out to communications professionals in the different countries. I think I've spoken to over like 20 people. And we had such interesting and robust conversation. And what did I ask them? I want to know more about you and what you do. Some of them, we spoke for 1 hour. And I've just learned about them and what they're doing. And I'm so excited about doing that. Sometimes it will just be, oh, yeah, I want to know more about your work. And don't say because this person has 20 years experience. If you have a very strong pitch, trust me, people love to talk about themselves. If you have a very, very strong pitch, and it's almost like, oh, I want to see us, for example, somebody in your network, they mentioned the project that they're doing, and you say, oh, I've been following you for a while. I'm really interested in being a part of this project. If there's any room to volunteer, I'd love to contribute my skills in communications to help you with media relations and that. That's a strong pitch. Yes, not everybody will say yes, but at least you're clear on what you want to do. And that's an opportunity. So sorry, I can't talk so much about relationships. Sending weak cover letters and pitches, the previous documents I've sent will help you with that. Be clear, articulate, whether it is a very senior role. And doing your research is also very important. Knowing the organization. Where is this organization? So for example, there was somebody that was, that had an interview for a role in the finance industry. And I told her, go and read one of Deloitte's reports about the industry, the positioning of the industry in the next 5 years. Read that report, look at these organizations, and then ask them questions about how they are preparing for that transition. If you see any current gaps, speak about how you're going to use your skills to be able to close that gap or put them in the trajectory of the future of this industry. She got the job. She did the work. My own is just to advise. She did the work, she got the job because she went the extra mile. So send out strong cover letters and pitches. Now, don't send out badly written emails. I get emails. Hello, please find attached. Hello, applying for this job. The way I see it, every opportunity to write or send out anything is an opportunity to pitch myself. And I will package myself well, whether I'm applying for a role, whether I'm shooting my shot, whether I don't care. I must put my best foot forward at all times, because you just never know how you're leaving an impression. Not being able to articulate yourself and what you want properly. This goes back to the elevator pitch. There's no time for me to talk about the elevator pitch and what you should do. But what I usually say is, think about where you are, your passion, where you want to go to, and write it down. So if you spend some time writing out your profile, practice saying that in 2 minutes. You're going to refine, but record yourself as a voice note. 2 minutes, talk about your passion, your journey, and where you want to go in 2 minutes, and then condense it to 1 minute. Then practice. Practice it to the point that they will wake you up at 3 a.m. and they say, President Kagame is about to meet you. You are ready with your pitch. Me, I'm ready. Anywhere, whatever. Once I know the audience, this person, oh, this is policy. Oh, this person, this is comms. This person, this is for the comms avenue. I already know the side I'm pitching. And it's practice. Please don't shoot your shot with hello, good morning. I see those things, even when community members reach out to me on LinkedIn, on Telegram, I have to say to somebody, don't leave me a message and just say hello or just say good morning. Because I attend to the people that make a request faster than you, because it means that you want to do a back and forth chat. I may not have the time. But if you say, hello, good morning, Adedoyin, I am so, and so, I'm having this and that. Once I see it, I already know what you want. And in my mind, I'll say, okay, I have the bandwidth to respond to this in the night. Or, oh, okay, maybe I need to connect this person with so person. But when you write good morning, and I open and this WhatsApp and Telegram, we are in so many groups, good morning, I can't help you. So why will you go on somebody's LinkedIn and say good morning? The person has so many people that they're telling good morning. So shoot your shot, be clearly articulating what you want. And before you make an ask, make sure that it's strong. Make sure that I don't I don't advocate that you add somebody today and tomorrow you're asking them for a job. Spin it. The person wrote something that you can learn from. Ask them a question. Give them an opportunity to maybe talk about themselves, or you want to add value to them. Then down the line, an opportunity to have a job will open up. That's usually how these things work. And then you must jump on opportunities that will give you visibility. Guys, 2022, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to be out there. I don't want people to, I don't want. See, you have to take these opportunities. Remember that quote about creating your own opportunity. And they are there. Some of you are preparing fantastic webinars for your organization. And I sat with someone and I said, have you suggested that you will be the moderator of one of these webinars? No, this thing. And I said, why not? But have you asked? And she's like, actually, no. Well, but why can you not moderate it? Okay, you will make a mistake, which is why I usually tell you guys that come and do trial and error with the comms avenue. So that when you are going to go and moderate the work for your organization, you have learned. Me doing this now, I've honed it over the years. But really, why are you not taking advantage of those opportunities? Your organization is doing something. How can you, are there any opportunities for visibility? My school, for example, the Nigeria Alumni Group, we are planning end of year party. That's how they sent email and said, oh, the board for the year, they finished their term. These are the following roles available. Now, honestly, I wanted to go for marketing and comms. But I said, no, Adedoyin, stretch yourself and apply for this role. I will not tell you the role that I went to apply for. That's how she then replied and said, oh, okay, Adedoyin, if we have more people, there will be a poll. And my mind just switched off because I'm not very great with poll. I'm not the most popular or most active person, but I know that I can do the work. But what I know that is in my favor is that I demonstrated over time to them that because I benefited so much from this masters, that I really want to, support as much as I can. So I know that, okay, that's that. But you must be able to jump on opportunities. I'll give you another example just to wrap up. I joined the International Association of Business Communicators, and I joined it. How I joined it was also, it was relationship, somebody said this, they invited somebody for a webinar, she mentioned, I joined, then this, then that. That's honestly the story of my life, taking one step, doing this, doing that. But immediately I joined, they sent a message about the World Conference that they're doing in America next year, and they're calling for speakers. Honestly, in my mind, I thought, I was like, it would be good to send a pitch, but maybe I was lazy. Now, the person that introduced me to this platform then says, Adedoyin, I've taken my time to go through your profile, your website. I believe you and I can come together and put a pitch for this thing. I was like, oh, wow, that's very interesting. Because I thought about it. And together we worked on and we've sent in a pitch to speak at this event. We may get it, we may not get it, but we've put ourselves out there. And that putting ourselves out there is within our industry. Can you imagine if me going to that thing in America? It's going to be wild. Well, if I get it, I think I'm going to be like, whoa. When I submitted the application, like, what did I just do? Because sometimes the reality of some of the things I do strikes me after, like, this is crazy. But I've done it, and I will see the results. But put yourself out there. It's up to you. If I sat down in the house and didn't send a pitch, that opportunity, the answer is no. But if you take the step to at least apply, the answer could be yes. But if you don't apply, it's always no. If you don't put yourself forward, it is always no until you take that step. So don't be afraid of no's. Let me go to the last slide. Okay, let me say this. So my birthday is in a few days, and I just thought, let me do something. I did the career coaching last year. It was free, and I think I did with about 10 people. Very nice. I don't know. I think some of the people are here. You can help me promote the coaching if you are here. But for me, it was absolutely beneficial because I saw the results on the people that, in fact, I think everybody took action. I don't think there's anybody that didn't. And the change in their trajectory has been mind-blowing for even me to see how they're able to articulate themselves stronger on LinkedIn. One, she's doing so well on LinkedIn. She's getting so many opportunities. So what I started to do by the end of the year was to put a figure to it because, my house rent, if I want to pay the rent, it's not on exposure. So I said, you know what, how much is this worth? And I think I started doing it for 100K for 4 weeks. But because since I've come back, I've just had a lot on my plate. I couldn't even do for so many people. I think I'm wrapping up one now. So what I'm going to do is from January, I'm going to slash it by 50%, which is 50K. Now, the thing about this coaching thing is, it's not, I think if anybody here from the previous groups is here, I think the maximum that we had was 4 or 5, because it's very intense. So we're going to review your CV. We're going to do live mock interviews. So one of the things is you get an organization, you will do your research, you will prepare like you want to interview for a role in this organization. Is that serious? So there's only a limit on the number of people that I can take. But it is very, very beneficial in terms of article. And then you will practice this elevator pitch, you will practice it. You will, pitch yourself. There's all of that. We're going to review your CV, your profile. I'm going to take that time, your LinkedIn, one-on-one conversations. Where do you want to go? So for example, there was somebody after our conversation, I realized that her LinkedIn profile and her CV was not communicating strongly what she had done. And we worked on that. So from the one-on-ones, I get a greater sense of what you have done. And I make sure that your CV, profile, LinkedIn page, and we'll add portfolio here, is reflecting, because some I don't know why, a lot of us, we are not reflecting our true capacity on these documents. And the truth is, before people get to meet you, they're seeing these documents first. So that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to practice the interview techniques. And then obviously an opportunity to pick my brain. I think that for every member of the Comms Avenue, you have the opportunity to pick my brain whenever, however. However, for December, because I know that some people need this urgently ahead of next year. Oh, there's a lot of background noise, sorry. I'm going to do 40K for this December, but I'm only able to take 2 people because I want to go on a retreat for a few days this month. So if you really need this urgently, it would be for 40K and only the first 2 people. If you're not in Nigeria, because I know that we have people not in Nigeria, just send an email. We'll discuss payment modalities. Just the equivalent of this will probably be most likely be in dollars. And then for next year, for January, I'm only going to be able to take 4 people. Now I know that people say, we don't have 40K, we don't have 50K. I love you. So I will think about how many I can do free. Because TCA, I know we've not officially announced it, but we're planning from next year to do events across the countries that we have community members. So we're going to be doing a lot of travel. So I just need to be able to make sure that I can commit fully beyond January. But I will get back to anybody that, if you feel like you want this, but you can't pay for it, still send me an email. I'm always team, help and all of that. And I will see how many of that I can take. It will definitely not be 10. I did 10 last year. I'm not going to do 10. And what is required? Full commitment. Oh yes, thank you, Edith. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you for promoting our market. It's really beneficial. If I want to, I know just from what I have seen, and even if they don't tell me it's beneficial, I have actually seen it. And so if you want that, please send an email, adedoyin@thecommsavenue.com, specifying, do you want to do December? Do you want to do January? Or I am team, help my life. I want this, I don't have so much money, and then we can speak about that. Okay, now before I go to the last slide, let me go through questions. Oh, wow, somebody just shared the testimonial, that changing of narrative thing I spoke about. Wow. I'm so happy. I pray that you'll be able, it's not my story to tell, so I'm not going to share it, but this for me is mind-blowing, because this thing was a complete roadblock before we had this session. It was the thing that didn't allow her to proceed. And now, because she has been able to change the narrative, she got a new fantastic role. And I'm hoping one of these days you will share the story so that others can also benefit from it as well. Thank you for sharing that with me privately. Okay, I don't see any questions here. My birthday is December 14, it's a Tuesday. Oh yes, I said there are links that I want to share. So let me share the links. Chisom, thank you so much for sharing that feedback about the coaching, and you're doing really well. I'm so proud of your successes. Everyone that does the mentoring program, the one-on-ones that did the coaching, I don't know. I feel like I'm part of your success because I know where you were coming from. I know when we talked, like Caleb, for example, I was so over the moon, when Caleb eventually got the job, just because I know the story. So for me, that is, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Birthday wishes. I'm going to do people are asking me, what do you want? What do you want? To be honest, I don't know, but I will do a wish list. But please, nobody should send me people that will be playing, what do they play? Saxophone and things. No, please. You can send me the money instead. So let me just send the links. Do we have questions? I promised to share some links, so let me just get that out. Actually, let me send it from my phone. It's easier for me to do that from here. So just a minute. Ramat, you're welcome. You're welcome. Ramat is a proud mentee. Sorry, guys, I just want to get the link for the templates and other things. Okay. So this is the professional profile templates. Professional profile template. So this is the link. It's on our website. Please download it, guys. Please, if you don't do anything else from this webinar, please work on these things. Your CV, your professional profile. Then please use this second slide to go and review your CV. Career move slide. Then it had occurred to me yesterday, and somebody just made that request in the community. And just because something had happened with one of the people, sorry, I don't like saying my mentee, my protege. I don't know. It just sounds fun. One of the people that, I coach, maybe I should put it like that. And I realized that, and maybe that's a different webinar, especially for those of us that are doing freelancing and consulting. How do you make sure you have the right engagement contracts and enforcing those contracts, setting the boundaries in those relationships with clients, that they don't take advantage of you, protecting yourself, protecting your money, getting your balance. Maybe that's another webinar. So I'm going to share, I'm going to post, probably this will be posted in the community. It's not ready yet. I just need to tweak it a little bit. But I'm going to share a contract template that you can use so that it is clear what this work is involved, the scope of work, so that when you are engaging and you are working, and maybe the scope when you started was Tanzania and Ghana, then they are now including Nairobi and Seychelles. It's okay, but it then means that Nairobi and Seychelles, you're going to get more money because why? It's not in the contract that we put. So anyway, that's another webinar. Let me not go into that. Okay, so questions. I hope this has been useful. I hope that, again, like I said, everything may not apply to you, but take the ones that apply to you. But aside from building your profile, please be more deliberate about nurturing relationships. For those of you in the Comms Avenue community, you have a community of people. You don't see the back end. We see the people that you're conversing with, just like that on Telegram. Some of them are heavyweights, but it's not even about that. It's just about friendships, and it's about articulation. Maybe this is another point I should share. Everywhere I go, people know what I'm doing. People know that I'm looking for this or I'm interested in this. So that when they now see the opportunity, they will send it to me. That's another thing. So during we have a virtual hangout, join us, make a friend, meet somebody. You just never know when they will be in a room and they'll be like, oh my God, Ramat spoke about this. Let me send it to Ramat. And from my personal experience, I've just realized that if I need something and I start speaking it out, people will start sending me stuff. I told you about the fellowship last year. I didn't get it. And then this year I was like, okay, do I reapply the same place? As I was wondering about it, somebody called me. This one was even for spiritual coaching and guidance and everything. And then I, told her about it. I had shared the story on, I do this prayer call for women, and I shared the journey. And she said, oh, what are you doing? I found this opportunity. I just listened to the recording and I saw this opportunity. And immediately she sent it and looked at it. I knew that was the perfect thing for me. And I've applied for it. Fingers crossed, hope I get it. But if I didn't say anything, if I didn't share, she will see the opportunity, she will move on. So please, guys, let's connect on Telegram. It's not because, I'm the co-founder, I want you to know. There's actually benefit from meeting people, sharing with them, oh, I'm in transition, this is what I'm looking to do, and you're not even saying it because the person can do anything. You're just putting it out there because anything can happen. I can't count how many times people call me and say, Adedoyin, I want you to specifically recommend it. And I can't think of anybody because nobody has told me. But if Ramat, if Oluwatito says, oh, somebody says, oh, development comes, I need somebody that can write it. I know that, oh, I can call Oluwatito because I've had one-on-one engagement and she has expressed to me what she's looking for. And I can easily recommend her. But sometimes I can't. And there's some people I can't really vouch for. We are 650. Some people are very There are interesting stories that happen. So I want to be able to vouch because my credibility is online, at stake rather. If I vouch for Chisom, it is my name that is attached. So I need to make sure that Chisom will not now go there and do something else, right? But please connect. We're having the end of year dinner. Please come if you can. If you're in Nigeria, if you're in other countries, we're going to plan that. But come and meet people. Come and connect. This is the way to start building relationships. From next year, I know we'll still officially announce our 2022 programs, but what we're going to be doing next year, we're going to have more physical hangouts. Our virtual community hangouts, we're going to do it, I think, once every 2 months so that people meet frequently. Then for anniversary, we're going to do a speed networking event. This one, nobody should miss it because we're going to be inviting very, very senior comms professionals. If you know the concept of speed dating, that's what it's like, but it's going to now be you versus senior experts. You're just coming to meet them. It's not that you now go there and say, please, I want a job. No, go and get to know them, pitch to them, ask them questions. I'm totally excited about it. I know the people that are not in Nigeria will say, what about us? So we're going to see if we can do a virtual version of that. So please let us do all of that. So my last closing before we end, what you think about yourself and your professional ability matters. Please don't talk down on yourself. Don't talk down on, everybody's talking down about you. You shouldn't talk down on yourself. Sorry, I've been talking so much, I need water. Your professional, what you say about yourself and your professional ability matters. Please, please, please work on your confidence and your self-outlook. It's so important because confidence is contagious. Your self-outlook, if you believe, I don't know, you people, you know, we all know people that they don't really have much, but they be so confidently, they're all over the place and you're just like, and they're getting opportunities. Because they believe in their crack. Let's put it like that. Oh my God, I'm sorry, hold on. They believe in the thing that they're selling, whether it is crack or whatever. But you, that you have value, you have good stuff, you don't believe in yourself. And who is going to help you believe in yourself? It's you. It's you. Start affirming yourself. Start seeing yourself where you want to go and start speaking. And then put in the work. Believe and keep pushing. I believe that, again, maybe it's my faith in God. I believe that I will achieve my dreams. I believe that I will get what I want. I've said that if I want to do a 9 to 5, I don't want to earn less than 1.5 million per month. In fact, somebody may be like, that's too small. But there are some people that are earning times 2 of that, right? And I will wait, I will hold out. But what's 1.2? Oh, how much is that in dollars? Because I think in dollars easily. But I believe it. I have seen people working in that. And that's why I am very deliberate about connecting with people that are living the reality that I want to live. So Mr. Private Jet Man is my friend because that's where I want to be. He has to mentor me, even whether he knows it or not. But keep pushing, keep believing. I know it is daunting to be getting no's. Guys, you don't even know the number of no's that I get. In fact, just recently, and I will share very honestly, we were meant to do a hangout in Accra and we couldn't just raise the funds. I was so sad. I was so sad because I was more angry with God than anything because like, God, you know, I believed, I had faith and we didn't go. But I've picked myself up and 2022, we keep pushing and I know we will do all of those events. So it's not like you will not have challenges. It's not like there won't be setbacks. It's not like there won't be closed or slammed doors, but there would also be open doors. I believe it so much. And you must believe that there's an open door. And so when you get discouraged, it's okay to cry. I cried this when we didn't go to Ghana. I was really upset, but I picked myself up and preparing now exuberantly for our dinner. But you pick yourself up and you keep moving. Don't allow anything to put you down. If you've not read my book, please read it. I share these ups and downs of my journey, but you keep pushing, you keep believing. I believe so much in the power of faith. And lastly, please guard your reputation. Some people, I'm so afraid with the way some people are taking their reputation. It matters. Your people can vouch for you. People that have worked with me, my mentors, the way they vouch for me in rooms that I can't get to because of reputation, they know that they can give me something and go to sleep and I will deliver excellence. They can vouch for me in anywhere. And that's because I guard my reputation so carefully. Guard your reputation, your professional reputation, your social reputation. Are you on social media? You're abusing everybody on Insta blog. You have to repent. It's not everything you have to abuse people on. But please guard your reputation and be a person that consistently delivers value so that people can stake their neck out for you. There's one of my mentors, the contact of that he gave me. See, I can't mention names, but I said to him, because once I went to a meeting and somebody had said, reach out to this person. And I looked at the person and do you think that this person is someone that I'll see in my backyard? And it occurred to me that I have a mentor that definitely has this person's contact details. And so one of my friends, hey, ask him now, we will give this thing just like that. I said, okay, let me even ask for email. Maybe I'll shoot my shot via email. And I had a conversation with my mentor. I said, okay, as we were talking, I said, I don't have email, but I'll send you the number. Do you think if I didn't have a good reputation, I've not had it, he would send that to me so that I'll go and disgrace him in front of his billionaire friend? Of course not. So please guard your reputation so jealously. And it's not that you won't make mistakes. I've made mistakes, but you course correct. You look at the mistakes and say, where do I learn from? How do I change this so that it doesn't become part of the narrative of myself as a professional? Where did I drop the ball? What can I do better? And then you keep going. But please, so important. This woke generation, your reputation still matters. Your reputation speaks. Some people, they have opportunities, but because of terrible reputation, those doors are closed. So that we'll not turn this one to a sermon, I am done. Questions, comments. Yes, you can still pay for the dinner. We still have some slots left. Yeah, just check in the community. We have the link. No parara, please. I don't want no parara. Those things I can't deal. Send funds, or yeah, let me even send. What I really want, to be honest, people that ask me is really, we need support in the Comms Avenue. So you can donate to the work that we're doing. You can also donate. I want to print more hard copies of From Clueless to Success. I'm going to share. There's a donation link that you can donate. For those of you who know, I'm not selling the books. I'm not making money off it. It's my gift to the world. So you can donate so that we can print more hard copies. I've spoken to Roving Heights. They would be able to help with the distribution. And I think we only need to pay for the shelving. But yeah, those of you that want to give me birthday presents, you can donate there. There's a link for the Comms Avenue. I don't remember right now. We have a donation link for the Comms Avenue. Or if you need my account details, see me in camera. But really, that's really, really what I really want. We want to do so much and we need as much support as we can get. So that's it. And any other kind of birthday presents you want, cash is always acceptable. Amen. All right. This has been long. So sorry it was over an hour. I thought I could do it in 1 hour, but I'm just hoping that this was beneficial for you. Please take out the takeaways. Use December to what's it called? Work on your CV, your profile, but don't do that. Do the thing. Remember the slide about what do you want? Where do you want to go? Do that first, so that when you're creating your CV, your profile, everything, you're creating it where you want to go in mind. So you're not selling yourself short. And then you hit 2022 running on who do I need to be connected with? Who do I need to be meeting? Which webinars, which events, going to the right places. I think that I see the right event for myself and where I'm going because I'm connected to the right people. So if you're not connected to the right people, some opportunities you will not find. So which industry, who do you need to be connected with? What groups? I follow many groups on LinkedIn. And I think it was one of those groups that I saw, the Africa communicating stuff. And sometimes, LinkedIn shows you what people like, what people comment on. I also look at those things. If I see that it's something useful for me, I will follow. I'll click, or I bookmark it or I screenshot it. But really, really, really take that time and do it. I would have loved to be able to look at everybody's profiles and CVs and do that, but honestly, there isn't much time, and time is money. I personally need money. So if you want me to do one-on-one with you for this year, please send the email. Once it's 2 people, that's it. If you want to do in January, it's 50K. I'm only doing 4 people. Then beyond that, I think by January, I'll be able to, once I go on my retreat, I'll have a better sense of what my Q1 will look like. Then I'll communicate. Maybe I should be able to do 2 free. So once I announce it, you snooze, you miss out. I may be able to do 2 free sessions, and then the others would be paid. And then we will probably revert to the original price, maybe by March. I don't know, but I will decide that. So take advantage of this, because once we start gallivanting and traveling, I may not have much time, but I'm always here to answer your questions. As all of you know, feel free to reach me, send messages, ask questions, say, let's jump on Zoom. As much as I'm available, I would do it. And whatever it is, whatever concerns, even after this webinar, you still have a question, please reach out to me. I'm here for your professional growth and development. And really, as a community, we're also committed to that. So thank you, everybody. We have come to the end of this webinar, the final webinar for 2021. Really hope this has been beneficial. We're going to share more information in the community. For those of you attending the dinner at the end of that's on the 19th, I look forward to meeting you. We're going to make it very interesting for you. I'm trying to get some very interesting people to come and attend so that, you expand your network, you meet new people, and you also have fun as well and all of that. And yeah, so please be engaging in the community. Take advantage of the community. Like I always say, there's so much that there's so many things that are going on behind the scenes in that community. People are doing collaborations across the continent and all of that. Oh, Polubatito, and I would love to meet you. Let me know when you're in Lagos. I know that a few people have promised that I will try and meet them maybe once I come out of my retreat. All right, everyone. Thank you so much.